4 reasons wine blitzes are foolish. That's right, you heard me. Coming up next. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben Salisbury. Our consulting agency helps wineries and craft distilleries improve their sales strategy and sales process. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know you're going to want to leave some comments, so please do that. Feel free to share this and don't forget to subscribe. Over the 35 years or so that I've been in the wine and spirits business, I have come to believe that wine blitzes are one of the most foolish waste of time and money that you could possibly engage with. Now, some of you may not agree with me, and that's fine. But let me tell you why this is, and my 4 reasons are coming up. So why are blitzes so popular? I swear there's one going on every week in every part of the country. I have consulted for many companies, and I walk into the war room and I see their annual sales plan, and I see blitz, crew drive, incentives, this and that sort of thing. So I know it's still very, very common. So why do so many people do it? I'll tell you a couple reasons why people still do it. Number one is it used to work great. I personally, as a distributor and a supplier, have been actively involved in blitzes as a distributor. I've planned and executed fantastically successful blitzes. I could go on and on about some of my favorite blitz stories that were wildly successful. Some of them even pushed our product higher in the Nielsen's. But guess when that was? 1987. So this is not 1987. This is 2019, almost 2020. There's several reasons why wine blitzes just don't work anymore. We have a saying in Texas, when the horse stops breathing, dismount. I hope this video spurs all of you into taking a very hard look at the return on investment and ask yourself, are blitzes as effective as they once were? I believe they're not, and that's why I'm coming at you with 4 reasons why it's a foolish thing to do. Another reason people do it is it just feels like the right thing to do. It feels like you're in the game. You see lots of activity. You know, for a supplier, your deepest dream, your biggest dream is to have the distributor mobilize their army of salespeople and go out and build this distribution. Well, it's never going to happen, but this is the next closest thing. Is you get all these people together, you create incentives, there's lots of money spent on dinners and tastings and education and happy hours, etc. So it feels like the right thing to do. I swear the happiest moment in a salesperson's life is when they're engaged in the middle of a blitz. It just feels like you're doing all the right things. But the problem is, and I'll get into this in the 4 reasons, the problem is it's a bit of an illusion. And the last reason so many people do them, and I'm sure I'm going to get comments on this because every time I talk about this topic, people say, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do blitzes. I think blitzes still have value if you do it in the right way. People say it's a chance to educate the sales force. It's a chance to get some enthusiasm for our brands. There's nothing like focus for an intense period of time to move the business forward. We're increasing brand awareness, not just among our distributor constituents, but in the trade. Now, all those things sound great, except it's just not true anymore. They're not true anymore, and I'm going to get into why that is. Reason number 1, the focus is not on the customer. Now, let me pause here and say, who is the customer? I can tell you from working for publicly traded wine companies, very often when the word customer is mentioned to shareholders, they're talking about the distributor. So you have a wine company or distillery, and they're talking about their customers and their customer service. They're talking about the distributor. The customer that I'm talking about are the other 2 tiers, which is the retailer or restaurant and the end consumer, the person dining in the restaurant who's drinking your wine or spirits, or in the liquor store, shopping in a liquor store. This is the customer. When you do a wine market blitz, the focus is not on the restaurant or retailer, and it sure as heck isn't on the end user. Where's the focus? It's on yourself. It's on what you need to sell and the things that you're trying to accomplish. This is a horrible strategy. to go into the market with a bunch of samples and spend a bunch of time and money, walking into retailers and restaurants and, hey, we're doing a blitz. Let's focus on my products. Let's focus on my products. Let's taste my products. Let me tell you something. In 2019, this will not fly. This is not a good focus to have. So just think about that. Ask yourself, where is the focus when you do a wine market blitz? I'm telling you, it's not on the customer. It's on yourself and your distributors and this crazy conspiracy of creating activity in the marketplace, which makes everybody feel good. Point number 2, the placements that you make during a wine market blitz do not stick. And here's where, if you try to take up an argument with me about this, you're going to lose. I can show you empirically every single time all the placements that are made, and the vast majority of them, let's say, are fleeting. And if you don't face this reality, if you don't stop and measure how many of the placements you made during your blitz stuck, that were retained by the account. I mean, that's the whole idea. Is you go into a restaurant, you get them to pour one of your products by the glass. It's successful. It pleases their customers. The restaurant makes money. You make sure they don't run out of stock. You always ship it at the right price. And guess what they do? They buy it month after month after month, or at least give it a nice 2 to 3 month run. Because let me tell you something. In a restaurant, if you have something that's working for your guests, you do not take it out. You don't take the pitcher out when he's throwing strikes. It's an illusion to think that, restaurants, they don't really keep things by the glass for very long. That's BS. I could give you plenty of examples where people have been pouring the same particular wine by the glass for months, maybe years. But these placements don't stick. You need to look more deeply at it. You need to measure it. We have the tools today to measure what happened yesterday in the marketplace. We have the tools to find out what sales calls were made yesterday, what placements were made yesterday, what order commitments were made yesterday, and by whom, and in which salesperson's territory. We have the capability to do that. So for those of you who have recently spent money on wine market blitzes, which probably includes airfare, hotels, rental cars, meals, who knows what else, incentives, lower prices, samples, stop and add it up. Put a number to it. Then go into your business analytics, your CRM, your reporting tools. Look at the customers that were touched during the blitz. 30 days later, check and see how many of those placements stuck. I mean, this is really just, to me, an incredibly foolish thing to do. Reason number 3, it's really about demonstrating activity. It's not about selling wine. It's about demonstrating activity, but so few people see it for what it is. You see, in the world of supplier-distributor relationships, activity is the currency. If you can create an environment where it looks like you're in the market doing a lot of the right things, it makes you feel better, as I mentioned in my intro. But that's really what blitzes are about. That's really why so many distributors agree to do them. It's an opportunity for the distributor to show their supplier that they're doing everything they can in the marketplace to help them grow their brand. So stop and look at that. It's really about the activity, not just activity, but demonstrating activity. If you've ever done a wine market blitz, you'll see a lot of paperwork after the blitz, a lot of reports about this achievement and this achievement and this success, and they highlight a couple of things. That makes everyone feel really good. But like I said in point number 2, when you go back and look at the results, you see that it couldn't have been about wine sales. You can prove that it wasn't about wine sales. It was really just about demonstrating activity. Reason number 4, the whole thing is a game. It's a setup. It's a charade. It's an illusion. It's been like this for many, many years, decades. The blitz is planned. The target list of accounts is created. The people are assigned to work with different reps in different parts of the territory. The samples are pulled. When you finally drive up to the restaurant or bar or liquor store, do you think that customer's expecting you? You bet your ass they're expecting you. The whole thing has been set up. And there's a bit of a game going on here between the distributors and their own customers, which is, we're going to be coming in, we're going to be doing a blitz, we're going to have these people come in, I need you to buy a case or two, and I'm just going to call it for what it is. I need you to buy a case or two to help me out, to make me look good in front of the supplier. Anyone watching this video who doesn't think that goes on is absolutely delusional. This is the game. In fact, there's so many blitzes going on, and this game is so widespread that it's literally created a paradigm, an environment where, hey, I'll bring in a case or two of your wine. We'll pour it off by the glass, and we'll get ready for the next time you guys come through and do a blitz. And you can prove this. Like I said before, you can prove it by going to look at the data. Buying one time and never again, you would have been better off never going into the account. How does that build brand loyalty? How does that build brand equity? I'm going to take in your products to make you look good during the blitz. I'll pour it off by the glass and we'll be on to the next thing. That does nothing for the brand. Absolutely nothing. If you can't see this charade for what it is, if you can't call it what it is and stop doing it, you're just going to keep getting, doing the same thing, expecting different results. You've got to break yourself out of this spell, this illusion that you're in. Take a hard look at the numbers. And you'll see that it is a game. It's a setup. It's a charade. It's an illusion. And the problem is there's so many people doing it, and there's so many constituents involved, suppliers, distributors, retailers, that it just keeps going on. It needs to stop. I just want to summarize with a couple of key points. Our industry does several things wrong when it comes to the selling end of the business. And a lot of this is because we cling to what used to work. There was a time when there was almost an equal number of distributors and suppliers, like 3,000 distributors and about 3,000 suppliers in the country. Man, that was a glorious time. I came up in the business during that time. Having a good relationship with the distributor, working alongside the distributor, educating the distributor, truly partnering with them. That was a great time in history for suppliers who did that well. But today, there are far, far more than 10,000 suppliers in the US and less than 700 distributors. It's created a very unworkable situation. It's created a bottleneck, and everybody's running around desperately trying to make up lost ground. Well, you need to let go of some of the plays in the old playbook, like wine market blitzes and incentives and more education for the distributor, more sales tools for the distributor. Those things just don't work anymore. It's time for you to take a very serious and hard look at them. If the environment for selling wine has changed, have you changed? And if so, to what degree? It's time to embrace and learn. It's unlearn what you've learned and embrace and learn the new opportunities. I speak and write about these things quite a bit. There'll be more videos to come, but just give some serious thought to what used to work doesn't work anymore. And so what should you do instead? That's the big opportunity, because the bottom line is it is not the same environment that we're in now that it was when wine market blitzes and wine crew drives worked. So take a hard look. Let the data tell you whether this is wise or not. Thank you.